Hey everybody, I'm Gary Palmer Jr., you're you, and together we are minting coins. So thanks for showing up. Thanks for being part of this show Thursday, October 5th. There is so much happening, so much going on in the news. I just wish I could put together 3 videos a day to really get out all of the most important information that's happening out there. But I'm just glad that I can do at least 1 video a day or 1 video every couple days to get you the news and to let you know what's going on, what's happening, and what are some of the major points on the radar, dots on the radar, dots inside the headlines that we can connect to get a better idea of the overall industry and the overall direction that this world is headed, because we're in it together. It doesn't matter if you're in the United Kingdom or if you're in Russia or Australia or America. This is technology that is going to affect the world. If this is illegal in some places, it's not going to be illegal everywhere. And even if it is, this is a decentralized world that we're building. Now, some people are trying to break this world down. They're trying to make this world more centralized. They want to give the power back to the banks. They want to give the power back to the select few who can then protect the world from themselves, who people can protect the world from, people having the responsibility of their own money, of their own decisions, of their own expression of, how they want to interact in the world. But with that being said, there's a lot to review. There's a lot to go over. And let's start connecting the dots. So tap that like button, leave any comments on our STEEMIT video, on our STEEMIT page, or in the comments below here on YouTube. Feel free to join us at Minting Coins. And at the end of this video, I'm going to let you guys know about some things that I might be working on and see if anyone out there is interested in talking more about some ideas or talking more about Bitcoin and blockchain technology, and people out there that want to go from just watching videos and reading and learning and maybe want to have more of a dialogue, more of a discussion about not just where the news is going, but maybe we can start talking about what can we start doing together? What can we start building together? What can we start growing together? And so, we'll talk about that a little bit more after we go into the news. So let's jump into the market. Let's go into the news, and then let's discuss. So starting over at coinmarketcap.com, we're living in a world where there are 1,138 different cryptocurrencies. So I guess that dropped, right? In yesterday's video, I think there was 1,150. So I guess a few of them got delisted. So that's interesting. The total market capitalization, $146.5 billion, 24-hour volume is $2.8 billion. So relatively low, as we've seen it the past couple of days. Bitcoin dominance is still right where it pretty much has been, 49.2%. Looking at the coin specifically, we have Bitcoin with a total market cap $72 billion per Bitcoin price. That translates to $4,300. Total circulating supply of Bitcoin, 16.6 million Bitcoins. And there's never going to be more than those 16.6 million Bitcoins right now in the world. That's all there is. It just blows my mind that if everybody wanted Bitcoin, if for some reason it got really, really popular, if this blew up like a fidget spinner or something of that nature, then it'd be really interesting to see the market dynamics take over. I can't even imagine when that's going to happen. So Bitcoin prices, Ripple looks good, Neo looks good. Zcash up 7.8% in Bitcoin price. Stellar Lumens looking good. H-share. Nothing that really tickles my fancy. So let's just stick with the good stuff, maybe. Also, I don't know if you're following us on Twitter, but feel free to check us out on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. We post stuff, and you can comment and like over there as well. No matter where you comment and like, we really appreciate your encouragement. and your encouragement is just awesome. That, just having your engagement and your interaction and just being a part of everything that we have going on. But with the Twitter, I really retweet and post a lot on Twitter just because of the instant news effect of what's going on and what's happening in the world. And so you can sort of get like an interesting fix throughout the day. Something that's really interesting that happened is that there was this one organization, Smart Billions, that challenged everyone to break their smart contract with a $451,000 reward inside this Ethereum smart contract. And spoiler alert, it got hacked. And so I'm not going to go into this whole story right here, but it's really interesting to read. It's really fun to read. So go over here, check it out, and then feel free to comment or let me know what you think about that. Super interesting that these people put this out there and that happened. I don't think they really had the best intentions in mind based on how this story is written, and I haven't researched it, but it's definitely worth a gander. Cool Yoda meme. BTC I trust, hold I must. I thought that was fun today. And then there was this, what do we have here? There was this billboard, possibly in New York City, from Genesis Mining. Now, I'm not a big fan of Genesis Mining. I know we got some Genesis Mining folks who are watching this, but I've never seen a Genesis Mining contract that was profitable as opposed to just purchasing Bitcoin and watching that Bitcoin increase in value for the money that you spend on the Genesis contract. It really seems as if you're better off just buying Bitcoin. But with that being said, this is a great billboard where it just has this Washington Post headline from January 19th, 2016 saying RIP Bitcoin, is time to move on. And then we have over here the Bloomberg January 4th, 2017, exactly 1 year later, Bitcoin hits a new all-time high. Beware of fake news. Trust the blockchain. It's just more of a theme that we're seeing. And this isn't a theme because people are saying it and because we're seeing cool memes. This is the theme because this is the narrative that Bitcoin is creating for itself. For as much bad news that you hear out there, they take, the cases that are bad, and those bad single, outlier cases get amplified. It's like the nightly news, right? When you watch the news, bad news gets amplified. There's more good news in this world than bad news. Even though there's some things that are very, very bad that happen, there are more incredible, great, inspiring acts of kindness and miracles and everything along that whole spectrum that happen. But that's not what they focus on. So the overall narrative, the consistent narrative, the by and large narrative of Bitcoin is that people's money is safe with Bitcoin, and people have been able to trust Bitcoin. And as people have been saying over and over and over and over and over and over and over again that Bitcoin is dead, over and over again and time again, we've seen that we can trust the blockchain. And so now we know we should be aware of fake news, especially when it revolves around Bitcoin and blockchain technology. So speaking of Bitcoin and blockchain technology, I thought this was just an incredible tweet. Haven't retweeted that yet. Let me do that. And this is just, so let's read this. It says, stop pretending Core is an organization. Start contributing today, or put resources at it, and be a part of this beautiful open source project. So there might be some main people who are developing for Bitcoin, and there might be politics involved when you're dealing with an open source project. But with that being said, this is an open source project that anybody can contribute to, that anybody can put resources behind, that anyone can make videos about, that anyone can post tweets about, that anyone can upvote things on Reddit for, that anyone can comment on STEEMIT. You can be a part of this in some way, some shape, or some form. A part of Bitcoin and reading and understanding. You're already paying attention. You're already understanding. You're already listening to this video right now. So you're already involved. If you care about what's happening and you want to do more than just get mad at the news or to get inspired by the news, you can actually be part of the solution. You can be part of the inspiration. You can be part of the voice that is happening out there. So if you support core and the people who are mainly developing Bitcoin, that core group of the total input going into Bitcoin, then you can continue to support them. And if you don't like what core is doing, then you can still be part of the project. You can still be part of the contributions. And that's what's being encouraged with this tweet, to be part of this beautiful open source project. And so speaking of companies that want to be part of this beautiful open source project, there's a lot of companies involved with Bitcoin, but pivoting away from Bitcoin, there's even more interest in the underlying technology of Bitcoin, which is the blockchain technology. And with the blockchain technology, we have some major companies like Tencent, FedEx, and others who are joining the Blockchain Research Institute. And so other companies that are joining this Blockchain Research Institute include the Ontario Ministry of Health. Others that are there are several others. I don't want to get into the whole list, but I guess that would include IBM, International Business Machines, and PepsiCo. Those are the big names. And they're joining this Blockchain Research Institute. They're learning more about what's going on, or getting more of what's going on. Why? Well, FedEx might be interested in supply chain management and understanding how they can use blockchain technology to track packages across the world, as is PepsiCo. And IBM wants to, as we saw in the other video, that they're developing, have their own army around blockchain technology development, research, management, all sorts of depths of knowledge that Microsoft, that IBM, that lots of these companies are getting into. And as we get more and more people involved, more and more business leaders involved, more and more business leaders who are being produced from top-level Ivy League schools who just are in the position to incorporate blockchain technology at fundamental core levels, this whole Bitcoin and blockchain technology, in my opinion, we're going to see it become part of every single aspect of our life, just like we have the internet a part of every single part of our life. You might have a 60 or 70 or 80-year-old parent or grandparent who did not grow up with computers, who did not grow up with, smartphones or anything like that, who probably barely grew up with TVs, and they're living lives now that are fully integrated with the internet. As to some extent, they probably have the internet, they understand websites, they understand email. They're probably not on it as much as you, but it would probably be difficult for them to live or for them to get around without using the internet in some way, shape, or form, even if it's using Facebook to see photos of their kids, right? Well, just imagine 5 years, 10 years into the future with the blockchain technology and how every single person may be required to, in some way, have access to some sort of private key. What's happening here is that you might not see it with, PepsiCo. You might not see it with FedEx. You might not see it directly with IBM, but this is going to be integrated first on the B2B side, business to business. And once that happens, then it's going to be integrated on a B2C side, business to consumer. Just like when robots came out and robots started replacing people in the factories, consumers, people didn't see those robots. Those were only inside the businesses. But now consumers are very used to seeing these robots. I mean, there's even, the robots that make people's food and all sorts of stuff. Vacuum your floor. It's just very, very common to see robots helping people. I mean, not very, very common, but it's not uncommon. It wouldn't necessarily make someone's, head turn to see the robots doing that, just like it's not making someone's head turn to have to figure out the internet and to figure out a website all across the world. What IBM is doing and what these companies are doing as a part of this organization. And which one is this again? I think it's the Blockchain Research Institute. Yeah. And so this Blockchain Research Institute really quickly, is being run by Don Tapscott and his son, Alex. And so Don Tapscott is a Canadian businessman, author, speaks on business strategy and transforming businesses. Let's see here. Don penned this book, Blockchain Revolution, how the technology underlying Bitcoin is changing business, money, and the world. So this book that he wrote, it's not about how Bitcoin is changing business, money, and the world. This book that he wrote is about how the underlying technology behind Bitcoin is changing business, money, and the world. So that came out in 2016. And then his son, who co-owns his business with, he's the CEO and founder of NextBlock Global, an investment company in the blockchain industry. And in March 2017, let's see here, Alex was named a founding member of the International Monetary Fund's high-level advisory group on financial technology, abbreviated FinTech. And so that's him, that's them, that's what's going on with this organization, how there's just like a much higher level of integration in terms of what's going on. So, all right. And now yesterday we talked about Mark Cuban, and speaking of business leaders and thinking about, speaking about really smart people who have made some extremely smart decisions. Mark Cuban, who we talked about yesterday and previously had said bad things about Bitcoin. We since found out that he's purchased Bitcoin. And in that purchasing of Bitcoin, I just wanted to update the story to, just let you know that he purchased Bitcoin through the Swedish Bitcoin Exchange Traded Fund, ETN, which is XBT provider, which is traded on Nasdaq Nordic. So XBT provider is the same Bitcoin ETN provider, which JP Morgan clients use to invest in Bitcoin after JP Morgan, or not JP Morgan, but Jamie Dimon, who's the CEO of JP Morgan, had said bad things about Bitcoin. And so ultimately, I just wanted to reinforce some of the things that are being said in this article from Mark Cuban, which is simply that value is subjective, as most artists would agree with. And the value is subjective, and the price of assets and stocks depend on the supply and the demand of those stocks. So if you simply look at the supply and demand of something, and then everyone who is looking at the supply and demand has their own, subjective interpretation of what value is, then that is what determines the value of money and the value of stocks. And now what Mark Cuban is going on to say is that Bitcoin is the same thing, and that Bitcoin its value is based on supply and demand, and its value is subjective for what anyone thinks that value is. Bitcoin, let's think about it. Bitcoin is just ones and zeros. It's just numbers. If you have a Trezor, if you have a Ledger Nano or a Keep Key or whatever it is that you have, if you have a paper wallet, that paper wallet, it's not holding Bitcoin. It's just a piece of paper that has your public and private key on it, right? And that's all it is. I mean, the Bitcoin exists everywhere, and the Bitcoin exists nowhere. The Bitcoin is it's very meta, and the Bitcoin is very Zen, and so it's just ones and zeros. And because of the technology, we know it's limited. We know what the supply is. We know there's never going to be more than 21 million. Or in the case of Ethereum right now, there's only about 93 million Ether available. But Bitcoin, there's never going to be more than 21 million. There's 16.6 million of them right now. And if people trust it, if people know that Bitcoin isn't hackable or has yet to have been hacked, and Bitcoin, you can't duplicate it, you can't copy it, you can't fake it. However much Bitcoin that you have is how much Bitcoin that you have. If you have 100 Bitcoin in Doge, then you really don't have any Bitcoin. You might be measuring how much Doge you have in Bitcoin, or say it's Litecoin or Dash, in case you don't know what Doge is. But if you have 100 Bitcoin's worth of Dash or Litecoin, you don't really have 100 Bitcoins. You just have that much value in the other currency. You don't have any Bitcoin in that case. You're not holding any Bitcoin behind your private keys. And so it's just really interesting. So the level of where this is going. Sorry for rambling, but the level of where this is going is that if there's a sudden shift in the subjective value of Bitcoin on a global level, on a worldwide level, and that shift is sudden, and all of a sudden everyone has lots of appreciation for Bitcoin, then that's going to be the moon that everyone is talking about. And this is speculation. No one understands what's going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen, unless you're manipulating the world, perhaps. But if and when that was to happen, then that's why some people say just buy whatever your weekly salary is. Try to save up to own that much Bitcoin, or whatever your monthly salary is. Try to save up to own that much Bitcoin. But this isn't financial advice. This is just speculation. This is huge risk. Not a financial advisor. Disclaimer. Okay, so time for your public service announcement. If you are going to mine Bitcoin, do not use government computers. I don't know if this needs to be said, but I just figured I'd make this a public service announcement. Let you know, you might have already heard, that these Crimean Council of Ministers fires employees who are mining Bitcoin using the government computers. Don't use government computers. That was little fun, little interesting. Yep. Okay, so moving on. So if you want to tune out, that's pretty much the end of the news. That is the end of the news. If you want to check out, you can. But if anyone who's interested, I just wanted to, talk to you and just make reach out. This is sort of a news station. It's sort of a blog. It's a little bit of everything. I've sort of been just winging it and making videos and just presenting information and trying to, connect the dots, as we say. And as a part of what's going on, what I originally wanted to do was to help bring people together, was to help not just bring people together, but to get more information out into the world so that more people can learn about Bitcoin, so more people can then get themselves a Bitcoin address, and so more people could experience what it's like to make a Bitcoin transaction and to have a little bit of Bitcoin just for themselves. And so it was really focused on building a community and bringing people together. And really where my mind has been going is that I've really been wondering, how can we have a greater effect? I haven't accomplished anything other than, creating about 100 videos and building this channel with 4,000 subscribers and increasing my STEEMIT to a 37. But, nothing really significant of like building a community. And I'm looking to do that with the website. But not just build the community, but what else can we do? Where else can we take this? And I guess what I'm trying to say is that I have some ideas for how we can build onto this. I have some ideas for how we can create maybe an organization or a business, or just, what are the problems that people are facing, and then how can we help people? How can we address those problems? And since I don't necessarily have everything put together, because I'm only one person, I have been working on some ideas, and I would be interested in sharing those ideas with you. And if you're interested in, hearing those ideas or checking out those ideas or whatnot, maybe you'd be willing to, share what you think, and we can share this information together. We can talk about this together. We can maybe, worst case scenario, just connect more and talk more about Bitcoin and blockchain technology. And the best case scenario is that maybe we can do something where we can work together and we can build something, or we can just, I don't know, just affect more people and have a greater effect on the world and bringing Bitcoin and blockchain technology to more people's attention. So I guess with that being said, what I'm putting out there and what I want to know from you is that is this interesting at all? Would you want to connect outside of YouTube and talk more about Bitcoin and blockchain technology? And when and I guess how we could do that is that we could do like a Slack channel, or we could I could make like Slack or Telegram or something to that effect. But those have a lot of problems. We have the website Minting Coins, which I just threw this website together just to have a website up. And when I put this website together, it's membership based and it's a paid membership sort of deal. But honestly, there's not a lot of people using this website. You can see there's only about a dozen or so people who are using this website, and most people who are using this website haven't paid. And but I'm not really interested in the money right now. It's not the primary focus to make money, especially not off of my subscribers who don't have money. If you have anything to spare, that's great. But it's not actually my focus, just because I guess I have the day job, and so at the day job I'm doing fine. I would like to pivot at some point and just go full-blown, full-time Bitcoin, but I digress. What I'm trying to say is that if you're interested, then I just want to waive the whole price of the whole website thing. And if anyone wants to be a member of the website, join the website. Send me an email or just join the website, and anyone who makes a human connection with me will not pay anything for the website, and it just will be maybe like an early adopter sort of member of Minting Coins. And once things get out of hand, if things get out of hand, I mean, that'd be great if a lot of people want to become members. But with only 4,000 subscribers, limited reach, and serious high-level censorship on YouTube, I'm not expecting for this website to blow up anytime soon. So anyone that's still listening out there, we would be the select few just to be, chit-chatting and talking and hanging out. And then there's not like a price barrier to block us. I'm also a big fan and big supporter of the Minting Coins membership, simply because these membership groups, or these free groups on YouTube, or these other free groups that exist out there, you get a lot of trolls, you get a lot of affiliate links, you get a lot of just, bullshit that you just don't want to deal with. You get a lot of bullshit that is not helping you. It's not pushing your education forward. It's not pushing what you know forward. And it's just more of a distraction than it is a help. And so with this website, our goal is to not have any of that, and to simply have a real community that isn't just posting, spam links, and doesn't need, moderators, to watch every single person's, motive and move. Yeah. So with that being said, I think I've gone on long enough about all of this. Let me know what you think about anything that we talked about today. Feel free to leave your comments below on this video. Let it be that you're watching this on YouTube, or maybe you're watching this on STEEMIT. Let me know what you think about FedEx and PepsiCo and IBM joining the Blockchain Research Institute. Let me know, what do you think about the Blockchain Research Institute? Do you have an opinion about them? And most importantly, what do you think about contributing to the Bitcoin and blockchain community, about just I guess being heard more, just putting yourself out there more so you can be heard, so you could be seen, so you could have a voice. Even if you don't know if you want to support something, you do have the option to ask questions. And so by logging into some of these communities, if you're not a developer, you can still be on GitHub, right? So you can still go to GitHub, and you can still, connect with people, and you can still find out who people are, and you can still ask a question. And it's really, really scary, I know, and it's hard to make time, but the more roadblocks that you can get past, the further that you're going to accelerate your life, the further you're going to push your life forward by getting past the little barriers that are holding you back. Let it be the barrier of time or the barrier of fear or whatever it is. So, but I guess I digress. So with that being said, tap that like button and let me know what you think. And I'm glad that together we are minting coins.